Hello you lot, Miller Corner here, welcome back to Super Seicento and welcome to 2020. That's right, no messing around, no plans for this year video, let's just crack on, get straight on with making this little nugget even more awesome. Our first focus is going to be on the interior after we got the outside looking exactly how I wanted it to. But to do that, our first video of 2020 is actually going to involve casting our minds back to last year and last decade, in fact. You might have seen when I tried to flock my own dashboard. It didn't go well. DIY dash flocking, unless you've got all the right professional level equipment, isn't worth your while. But if I'm honest, deep down, I still really wanted a flock dash. That's what I fell in love with in Poland. That was the look I was after. I've managed to source another dash. You can probably tell it's a beautiful day. I've got about an hour's drive to get to Stevenage to pick it up. So without further ado, let's get on the road. Well, I reckon we're in the right place. And as if by magic, one dashboard acquired. We're going to jump now to where the magic happens. There's no disguising that this is both a different day and you can probably tell a different car. So let's not sugarcoat it. This is about 2 weeks later. Because I'm clearly completely incapable of flocking a dash myself, what I've done is now using the Super Seicento, brought this new dash to have it done professionally. Like, frankly, I probably should have had done the first time. Professional flocking uses one of these electric staffs. The flock itself is contained in the reservoir at the top and it's electrostatically charged before being fired onto the gluey surface. Without it, you're asking heavy flock to just stick to relatively thin glue, which, as I've proven, doesn't end very well. You can buy this kit yourself, but it's not cost effective if you're only doing a couple of bits. Ryan at South Coast Flocking did my dash, and in a week it went from this to this. The tired old dash is transformed with a classy new look that's exactly what I fell in love with in Poland. Before we fit it though, the old dash has to come out. So before we get the new dash in, we've got to get the old one out, and that means everything you can see that's attached to the dash has also got to go. So without further ado, let's crack on. And there we go. We're off to a really good start. I'll see myself out and crack on. You thought we'd lost them, but nope. The audio companions are back. Yay! Now let's companion some audio. Yeah. You may remember last time one of the vents broke on disassembly. It happened again. Now this is a tip I wish I'd given myself the first time we did this, which is when we took the boss kit off, we had to put the steering lock on in order to have this tight so we could unbolt it, and that meant we couldn't get this lined up, and it took 3 or 4 attempts of bolting it on, unbolting, unbolting, bolting, bolting, unbolting to get the steering wheel all lined up actually in the correct position. So what I'm going to do this time is grab a bit of masking tape and put this over both the boss kit and the steering column shroud. Now the theory being, when we're putting it all back together, if those 2 bits of tape line up, then theoretically this is in the right place. All we need is to crack that nut, but this appears to be the world's most broken ratchet, so I think we'll grab another one. Right, I've now applied some slightly better tape because that masking tape I was using wasn't really up to the task, so I've got some nice gaffer tape on there, and to crack the nut I used the I wasn't asking bar, and with the big nut off of the boss, I believe we can just give her a little wiggle, or a big wiggle, or a bit bigger of a wiggle. It shows how old I'm getting. I did this 6 months ago and I've already forgotten that this cowling has to come off first. So let me get a screwdriver and we'll join you in a minute. With the cowling and the boss kit off, Dad arrives and we remove the column stalks, rev counter and speedo cluster. Hey, great success. Next come the heater controls, key barrel, speakers and stereo, whether it likes it or not. With most of the fittings removed, it's time to start undoing the series of bolts above and behind the dash that hold it in place. Go on, son. Oh my god, I'm going to be here for the rest of my life. Hey. Finally, the dash is completely free and we can slowly push the wiring through and lift it out. This dash has served well and it won't go without picking a fight with the camera. Now, of course, the thing to do now is just leave it out and just put a steering wheel back in because race car. So next on the agenda is the power cable for the sleeper dash cam. Now, the cable recently broke. The good news is replacement ones are like £3. So we've got a replacement one, but of course, because I did such a good job of making this a sleeper install, it's routed all the way up here and in there and round there. We can see all the wiring now. The dash isn't actually there, so I'm thinking let's do some chopping, take this trim off, pull all that out, and hopefully it shouldn't be that much of a nightmare. But this is a job that I've done, so no promises. Ow. Oh, okay. Ah. Oh, yes. That only bloody worked. That is the old power cable for the dash cam. You may notice it's a bit cracked around here and it doesn't actually work. It's completely mullered. That doesn't earth properly. It's knackered. You already know how to install a sleeper dash cam wire. If not, click the thing. But we're now going to jump to that wire being connected. The new power cable is full sleeper spec, and now we can admire how much nicer the flock dash looks compared to the old one. Right, enough admiring, let's get it in. Refitting the new dash is rather trickier, as we've got to carefully insert it without taking any flock off and feed the wiring across the back of it, making sure that each plug comes out where it should. This takes time because one error and we might have to remove the dash completely again. Once we're happy all the wiring reaches, we screw in a couple of upper bolts to hold the dash in place. Then the refit can begin, starting with the headlight adjuster. Hey, look at that! Heater controls and speakers. And I always like to be incredibly helpful in these situations.
Do you know that one goes on there?
Yes, that's the one for the temperature? No, the fan speed, but that goes on after the bezel. Or does it? No, yes, maybe, pass. If you ever needed any proof about the difference in air abilities, in the time it's taken me to fit a speaker, you've done the fuse box, the heater controls, the key barrel, the other speaker. Oh yes. That's a speaker installed, look at that. I've done it again. The vents are bloody sided, and this is the one for the driver's side. I've fixed the vent, because I am a genius.
Right, I'll tell you what then, everything looks like it's in the right place, doesn't it?
Yes.
So, if we do the top bolts up then.
Starting at the top, we get all the upper dash bolts in and tight. A task that only gets better with an excellent joke. This isn't handy cam, this is hand cam. Anyway. I get the first of the lower dash bolts in whilst Dad feeds the wiring up the steering column and then does something amazing.
10 mil here.
Can you find your 10 mil?
Yeah.
You've got your 10 mil?
Yeah.
You've actually got it?
I've got a 10 mil here, yeah.
This is going to have to be the last episode. We're never going to top that.
Right, we've got a 10 mil spanner.
We actually found the 10 mil. Right, that's it. We're ending now. That's a winner.
Where that goes. I don't know what that's for.
Just chop them all off. It's fine. Car starts, doesn't it? Actually, we don't even know if it starts at this point. No. Yes. Like a glove. I mean, it should be because it's factory fit, but yes. Next, the rev counter, speedo, centre vent and finishing panel get refitted before I turn my attention to a little extra. Quite apart from the flock dashboard, I want to make this interior transformed this year, and the next bit of that is going to be the steering wheel. You might remember the 300mm mounting one I put on, and initially I really liked it because it was really small, really compact, and it is better than the ugly, crappy standard Seicento wheel. But if I'm completely honest, I'm a bit out of love with the whole idea of a tiny little steering wheel that you have to bunch your arms in to use in tight spaces. So I've got something a little bit bigger, but equally as awesome. This is a 350mm Suede deep dish wheel from Code. Now these guys, they're used on all kinds of modified cars. Code are really good, high quality stuff that don't sponsor me. I paid full price for this. There's no sponsorship deal. It's just really cool, and a few of my mates use these on their cars. And this is going to give me a bit more control and a bit more of that race car-y feel when I'm busy chopping Golf Rs every single day on the way to work. With the column controls, cowling and boss kit on, the wheel is bolted up once we've transferred the horn wiring from my old wheel, and with everything tightened up, we are done. And there we have it. Flock dash and new steering wheel in. This is by no means the final phase for this interior, but given it's the first episode of the year and the first video of working on this interior, I reckon we've smashed it. This flock dash is so much classier, so much smarter, and so much nicer than even the painted dashboard that I had in beforehand. It's clean, it's classy, and it's just a little bit different. What's more, with the black suede steering wheel as well, I've got a really nice consistent up going on throughout my point of view. The interior will undergo plenty more transformations this year in the very near future, but for now, I better get going because I've got a new project to go and film a reveal video for. See you very soon with that one, but for now, thanks very much for watching, everybody. Get subscribed so you don't miss a thing from Miller Corner in 2020, and I'll catch you very soon. Thanks again for watching, and have a good one.